Hello, everybody, and welcome to Comics News Today. I am Cheshire C. Busby III. I'm your host, and very happy to be joined by several of my friends today to talk about the news. Of course, we are joined by the chairman himself, Mr. DeWolf. How are you today?
Oh, a little under the weather. Of course, there's a lot of weather going on here, but other than that, things are going good.
Nice to hear. Yeah, there's a lot of sick people around, but it's winter. It's one of those years, I guess. But glad to have you here, man. And of course, we're joined by the creator of Ignition himself, Todd Mulrooney. How are you today, sir?
I'm doing really good, and I'm not sick anymore, and it is snowing, or was.
Oh, you lucky, lucky, lucky. I don't get snow. I miss it. But
Oh,
of course, we are also, as always, joined by the Denali Lama. Hello. How you doing today, sir?
Hey, I'm doing better than yesterday, but as you can hear, my voice is still a little bit under the weather. I blame you, Todd, for getting me all
Todd's fault.
sick. Yes.
Sickness through the internet,
my
Todd.
fault. Chester
Yeah.
was sick first. He got us all sick.
That's
Yeah,
true.
we-
Yeah,
That
you
is
gotta be
true. That is fair.
I gotta share all the blames. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, but
I blame Chester for me.
I will take all the responsibility, and I got my doctor gave me my medicines, so I'm taking my medicines, and I hope hope it'll work. And it's rare because I go to a doctor once a year because here in Japan you get the like a free checkup every year. It's like a very involved thing, so I do that every year, but I rarely go to the doctor. So, but I went and got my medicines, so I'm one of those stubborn male types. I do apologize, but
It is smoking like prevalent over there?
of course, yeah,
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
absolutely.
Of
Yeah.
course.
They haven't changed their smoking habits.
Not real. Well,
No?
Tokyo has. Tokyo is like on a mission to stamp out smoking, but the rest of the country is like, eh. But then again, the rest of the country usually is like, to Tokyo anyway, because Tokyo is kind of, eh. But
Yeah. Well,
that's
you know that nicotine actually fights the brain control chemicals that are in like the environment and stuff that is being put in the water by those powers that be.
oh
And
wow.
that's why you see people that are rebellious usually smoking.
Well,
You
there you
know?
go. So cigarettes make me smarter. Yay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sweet. But I see a few of you joining us in here. Thank you very much. Of course, Joshua Hughes is here as always. We have the DJ D show, and he says aloha. Well, aloha to you. And of course, we appreciate you guys coming in here. We got all our links down below. You want to come over and join us on FanSpeak. Contact me about being on the show, which a couple of you have. We're going to have them on the Bugbear's Basement. We've got a couple new people. And we also have other links. Please check them all out. And of course, hitting that like button and subscribing is most appreciated. But the thing that helps us most is to hit that share button and let your family and friends know what we're doing over here so they can come and join us. But we do have a lot of news to get to today. And of course, later at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this channel, we do have the Drone Quartered Fan Edition, which is going to be a lot of fun today. I think we got a really good subject to work on. And no, I'm not doing no Princess Jasmine either. I don't care what John Malin says. Um, and but we got a lot of fun for that. And of course, tomorrow is Fan Speak, and then the day after that we have our Bunny Vision movie night, and we're going to be watching Akira, the great legendary anime that came out back in the 80s. And we're looking forward to all of you coming and joining us to do that. Now, here, Denali or DeWolf, or one of those guys, is going to go and put a link to Rabbit up in the chat right now. Thank you very much. And all you have to do is go over to Rabbit, which is www.rabb.it. Okay. You go over there and you set yourself up an account. You can do it the traditional way where you create a username and a password, etc. Or you can go in there and you can just link it to your Google, or you can link it to your Facebook or what have you. It's very simple. And just create your account and make sure it's all working on whatever device you're using. We found that Chrome seemed to be the easiest for most people. I don't know why that was because I was using Firefox myself and it worked fine. But there was some trouble. It was the first time we tried it back when we watched Godzilla last weekend. But Chrome seems to be the one that works the most consistently. So please check it out and get it working. so that when you come on Saturday, we can just quickly get into it and everybody can join and have fun watching the movie together. That was a great time. Did you guys enjoy that?
Oh, definitely. So a little like riff track going on there
Yeah.
at times, but we were pleasantly surprised when we were rewatching the Japanese version because
Oh,
most of
yeah.
us saw the English version. So it was a really good film. So kind of
Yeah.
surprised with it, but not too surprised because it's Godzilla.
Yeah, but no, I was shocked actually, because I grew up with the fun kiddie version of Godzilla. Now I had seen the Raymond Burr version of that movie, and it was all right. And I really don't understand their thing. We talked about this the other day, and we came to an understanding of why. But it's hard for me to understand why would you take such a stunningly good movie and make it less so the way they
Well,
did.
you got to remember that World War II is
That's
still reasonably fresh. So
true.
animosity against the Japanese were still
That
fairly
is true.
fresh.
That is fair. That is fair. But
Yeah.
anyway, definitely join us for that. Get set up for that because that's going to be fun. Go ahead, Dewolf.
And
Yeah, you definitely had to Englishize it, basically. But you know, here's something cool about Akira. I just want to share this.
Hmm.
Me and my friend, when we were in 17, 18 years old, we drove around 250 bikes, like Ninjas and Hondas. And my friend happened to told me the story in which there was a car pulled out and he locked the brakes up, and he ended up actually going kind of sideways, right? And he's trying to explain this, and yeah, he did. I think he ended up knocking off a blinker or something and getting kind of scuffed up. But he saved himself and the bike mostly. And the term he used was that he did a Kaneda slide.
Kaneda. Yes.
And I went, and I knew exactly what he was talking about. So, if you want to know what a Kaneda slide is on a motorcycle, going sideways, you have to come by and stop in for the Bunny Vision.
Absolutely, man.
Saturday.
Bunny Vision rules.
Yeah.
Tell everyone.
excellent.
Yes.
And then Sunday, we're also going to do some reviews of some near comic stuff. So kind of talking about comics that we pulled. And then Bugbear Basement, we're talking about Daredevil issue 181,
Mhm.
which is Bullseye versus
Electra.
Electro.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a fun show. Those going to be
I
fun
think
shows.
so. Booster's very excited, and an exciting booster is a good thing. So yeah, join us for all those things, and of course, Valen is here. Hail Raven, of course, Hail Raven. Nice to see you here, and James S, aka Poppy Doom, dude, just call yourself Doom. He says no princesses with a very sad face. I didn't say that. Did I say that, Denali? I said no stupid Jasmine.
But no
Tetsuo!
princess.
Oh, yeah, very good, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, let's get into the news. But yes, there will be a princess, just not that one. But let's jump over here and get into our news for today. And now we start out with something very interesting here, and I'll come over here and share with the panel, of course.
Mhm.
We've been talking about this, Denali, and so there's no shocking news here, but it's just continuing on this news as we said we would. Go ahead, Denali.
So don't expect the Defenders or any of the original Netflix shows to be on the Disney streaming service anytime soon, because part of the negotiations when they first made these shows was a 2-year block off period where it couldn't be streamed or taken off or put anywhere except for Netflix. So even though it's going to be done for 2019, that just draws it even more that you're not going to get any of these any new shows with any of these characters, because most of these actors will be looking for new projects and probably be busy to make any new Marvel shows.
Yeah.
By the time they're open to do so.
Well, let's talk about this group of people we have here. Now, you guys, I'm assuming everyone here has at least seen some of them. What did you guys think of Jessica Jones?
I thought that the mental concepts behind it, I mean, they went into areas that I have rarely seen TV or movies go into in its
Yeah,
psychology.
Yeah.
And
the first season was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she wasn't. Purple Man was.
No.
David Tennant
Yes.
killed that. Killed it. But he usually does. He's a great actor. This lady, she's boring. She's scrawny. She's not interesting to me, and it's quite obvious that the getup they have her in is she's not comfortable in. She's not. This is not how she dresses normally, and you can tell. That's how uncomfortable she is in this clothing. That because the way she
I don't know.
moves and stuff.
I see the uncomfortable nature of her character as being part of that, and I just kind of let it go.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, I think that there's a lot going on with her, and maybe I gave her more of the benefit of the doubt as far as her being boring or having her performance done the way it was.
Yeah. I think she's the wrong choice. I think they should have found a different type of actress. I'm not being against her because I've seen her in other stuff. I thought she was fine. I just don't think she was. I think it's a miscast. I think was the problem. But the Purple Man was killer. Yeah.
Yeah, he was. I actually think different. I think that her casting was pretty good. That she portrayed what she had to, all the angst and the bitterness, you know, kind of had to come out.
Yeah.
Now Denali did say something, and he said season 1, and of course that opens up to what season 2 was.
Blech.
And yeah, he tries to, you know, kind of backfill some of the more of the story and things with her mother and stuff, and it just, wow, was it a problem. It had a few little nuggets in there, but you had to sift through a whole bunch of dirt to get to it.
Yeah, no, second season was horrible. What do you think, Todd, about the Iron Fist? Did you check that out?
Yeah, that was all right. I mean, I would have liked more sort of training. Like he didn't really get, you know, he didn't go through any kind of training or anything like that.
Yeah, that's not his fault though.
No, what do you mean that's not his fault? What do you mean by that?
Because they threw him into the project very quickly. He even said it's himself that he was really disappointed he didn't have more time to train.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I just meant as a character though. Like they didn't show Danny Rand actually sort of learning his way. You know what I mean? Enough. It just like there was like 2 or 3 times that he went to what's it, Kunlun?
Kunlun,
You know?
yeah.
He went there like 3 times in a total of 10 episodes. So I don't know.
Well, I think that as far as bad casting, I thought his casting was bad, and then I did see the interview where he was talking about how much training that he received beforehand and how it was rushed, and then I realized after seeing season 2, where he actually was pretty good in that role, he had a good possibility. His best role, the best scenes there are for Iron Fist are when he shows up in Luke Cage's series, and he gives him advice. And he's still kind of cryptic, but also a little bit more joking, because by the time season 2 rolls around, there's no more of this meditative, focus your chi type stuff going on. And for me, that completely started breaking the character.
Yeah, no, I agree with that completely. That is his character.
Yeah.
But, you know, what do you guys think about the Luke Cage?
The first half of season 1 was awesome. The second half was meh. And the second season, I dislike it because they made Luke Cage a bad guy.
Yeah. Oh no, they ended it there too. So you know, but it's interesting to me because I actually don't mind this guy's Luke Cage. I don't mind him. He's not the most dynamic actor who really pulls me in, but I don't mind him. Unfortunately, I think one of the things for me, this is my problem, not theirs, but was I had in my mind when they announced it years back, you know, the guy that they have on Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., that big buck guy.
Oh, he's good. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, dude, that's Luke Cage. That's Luke Cage. And of course, we didn't get him as Luke Cage. And I was like, that's really, because I just had in my mind, that is Luke Cage, because that guy's perfect, man. And he's a much more dynamic actor than this guy.
Yeah. I think.
Go
ahead, Todd.
He's originally from what, NYPD Blue?
The big buck guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where he's from, but I like him. I think he's cool. And he looks so perfect. He's just buck as hell, man.
Yeah, I like the flavor of Harlem and the gangsters. I think that did well, and the imagery in the background. Sometimes when you had Biggie Smalls, right? He's wearing the crown,
Yeah.
and then whoever's in control in that scene is standing under the crown. There's things like that that just made for good storytelling. I thought that for imagery, especially coming out of a comic, I thought that did well as far as Luke Cage goes.
Well, I also thought it was a bit, let's say, ironic that they kept in the show from time to time they would do the I guess necessary bad white man finger pointing when we know right well that Harlem today is a very affluent community. It's like, huh? This isn't set in the 70s, guys, or the 40s or something like. Actually, it was better in that time in the 40s, but nevertheless, of course, the last one, Daredevil.
That one hurts the most.
It does, because it's really good.
Yes.
Except that second season, the whole Black Sky second season kind of thing with Elektra. I never really thought that Elektra was really good.
No, but the Kingpin, dude.
Yeah.
The Kingpin.
Oh, Kingpin's amazing.
D'Onofrio, he is actor god, man. That guy is awesome. I love him.
They need any future Marvel properties, they need to get him as the Kingpin. He's the definitive Kingpin.
He is. He's so good, dude.
You got to have the Kingpin broken out of Rikers Island with the Vulture and with D'Onofrio and the Vulture, Michael Keaton, and they got to work together to take down Spidey. And then you got to bring in Daredevil in that movie, right, with the same actor here to team up. I think.
Don't make me hope. Don't make me hope.
Yeah, I know, but
that's too much of a hope.
The cool thing about it was the writers understood the characters intimately. You could tell, because we knew that when it started off, all these things were going on. We know that somehow the Kingpin is behind everything. He's orchestrating everything. We know this because we've read the comics. And of course he was. They had, it was beautifully stitched together too. Oh, it was really good, man. Season 3 was just absolutely phenomenal. Wow. But anyway,
and I couldn't wait.
The imagery of Kingpin, that whiteness, and I said whiteness. That's funny. The white suit, the white wall, the white plate, the everything set out, laid out in little pieces. Him making the omelets the same way in different little OCD things gave him some form of an emotion and a mental concept that you kept going with, and that made the Kingpin so much more of a deep character than I think even the comic books had him as.
And even Bullseye, which they completely retcon that character. It's not the comic book Bullseye, but I loved what they did with it, and I thought that actor did a great job too. I mean, it was just that season killed. If you guys haven't seen Daredevil season 3, go watch that, because that is great TV, man.
Joshua Hughes says, I hope they are somehow able to keep the same actors. Muttman says Daredevil season 2 had a terrible ending, and Ray says so sad about those cancellations.
Yeah, so, it is. Yeah. And I do see some other comments over here. I see the Ryan Cardinals here, and congratulations on representing Fan Edition and beating those pros down. Excellent, and that was an amazing Jasmine you did yesterday. Claps. Absolutely, dude.
Oh yeah.
Good job, Ryan. Good job. And I see Manny's in here. He was on the show yesterday as well. Very cool to see you over there, Manny. Although, you got to speak up when you're on those shows, Manny. You got to kind of promote your stuff, including one that's called Tales from the Gate Beyond the Gate, dude. Come on. Muttman is here. He says Iron Fist was the worst one of the whole bunch. Absolutely terrible. Yeah, well, yeah, unfortunately. And that's their fault. The March Hare is here. He says, hello to you, sir. And we have more comments about Daredevil. It's terrible on this, and they didn't like season 2, which I understand. But season 2, for me, it wasn't the best of the 3, but Kingpin, it was all worth it.
I can't let this slip by without saying the name Lady Chow.
Oh yeah, she's cool. No, she is cool.
Man, her character was so good.
Mm.
And then she crossed over into several different shows, much like the nurse did. Wow, she did a great job. But Lady Chow, and then when she finally used powers, I thought that it was very effective because we saw Iron Fist. It's kind of like an Iron Fist, chi type of a thing, and it worked really well. And all of a sudden, this woman in pediatric shoes with a cane was a formidable force.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
There was a lot of great little moments in those series, and it's unfortunate it's dead. And I guess that's what we're doing. We're having a post-mortem here of sadness because
Awake.
we've lost it. Awake, yeah, it's really too bad, man. Because even with Iron Fist being the worst of them, it was still watchable, right?
Yeah.
And there was some great moments like Jessica Jones' second season was pretty. I think was the worst of all of them, to be honest with you. But season one with the Purple Man, David Tennant, that was so killer. He did such a great job. These actors were allowed to act, and that is a wonderful thing. And it's unfortunate it's lost. And hopefully, sometime in the future, we'll see a good version of it. But to be fair, with the way Disney whitewashes everything, and I mean that in the actual sense, not the nonsense modern sense. I don't know if he could do it again, but we'll see. And the Unbelievable Skunk Girl says it's his wife. Manny is still at work. Well, that's okay. We'd rather have you anyway. The Ryan Cardinal says, big thanks going out to Cross Comics for all his support during Drone Recorder. Yes, absolutely. Rick was the one actually spending his own money to get out there and push Tales from Beyond the Gate. So good job, Rick. But he still was a traitor again. Again. Manny is very shy. I make up for it. Yes, you do, ma'am. Yes, you do. All right. Well, we've spent a long time on this
Yeah.
article. Let's move
Right.
on to something here and be a little more rapid fire. This
Yeah.
right here, Denali, go ahead.
Jurassic Park and The Shining added to the National Film Registry. So, for those who don't know, the National Library of Congress selects films each year to showcase culturally significant impacts films, and they keep it for safekeeping for future generation. So it's kind of awesome to know that Jurassic Park and The Shining have made a cultural impact that's sufficient enough for them to enter into the National Library. So congratulations, you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. That's cool. That's good. That's a good piece of news. We always want to see good movies respected, and I'm sure everyone here enjoyed these movies, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Red Rum.
Red Rum. Yes. No, Shining was really good. I would say I liked Shining more than Jurassic Park, but Jurassic Park was a great family flick. So that was certainly fun.
With the death and the eating.
Well, it was though. It was a good family movie. Yeah.
The lawyer got eaten. Crump.
And then the current ones are even worse. I'm just watching these people constantly being eaten. I'm torn apart and stuff. I'm thinking, what happened to the family nature? Dinosaurs no longer are just fun things for kids to wrap their imaginations around.
Well, it's because it's the commercialization of the story, and that's always makes them less interesting. The first reboot, because that's what they did. They rebooted with what's his name?
Star-Lord?
No, the Star-Lord.
Chris Pratt.
Chris Pratt, thank you, Chris Pratt. They rebooted it with him, is what they did. The first one was okay, and they just gradually got worse and worse, in my opinion. But some people like them, so hey, have at it. The R2D2 for Life is here, and he says, "What about Captain Marvel? It's already culturally significant." Next. Now this one is amazing. This is CBR again, okay, and this is Matt Loon, and Matt Loon has created this. Let's take a look at this article. Look how long this is. Look at this long, big article he's got. Now, this is not really long compared to when I was young, but these days this is a middle level article in size because no one has any attention span anymore, I guess. But what this guy has done He says Marvel's Captain Britain takes a hard stance on Brexit. A hard stance, indeed.
Hard stance.
Hard stance. And he comes in here and he talks about how Marvel has got things going on where they have the Avengers are now international. And of course, America is being fronted by the Squadron Supreme of America, making it sound like America is some kind of villain. Russia's Winter Guard, Defenders of the Deep with Atlantis. He's going on about this, the world is at odds, and it's representing the world today. And of course, we realize that most of the trouble that's going on is nothing to do with what they're saying. But they come down here and they talk about how strongly he is. Now look at this right here. He says, please, no Brexit jokes. Please, no Brexit jokes. Please, no Brexit jokes. That's it. This whole article about how Captain Britain takes a hard stance on Brexit from no Brexit jokes. What? Wow, these people.
Are we missing context? Is there something?
No, he's just an idiot who takes a single little line, which is meant as a joke, and then turns it into this big article about Captain Britain is being represented as standing against Brexit because Brexit is horrible and awful. When, of course, we realize Brexit actually should have been done already. It's the most brilliant move that Britain could actually take. And if Britain would take a hard line on Brexit, it would crack up the EU, which desperately needs cracking up. Right? That's the reality. That's the economic facts. I don't care if you don't like facts, you can go straight to hell. The facts state that the EU is a toxic disease monster.
Ding.
Yeah.
We got to start up the old jar again.
Yeah.
Our own Chester. Hey, I want to see this guy in cosplay. Scroll down. Is that that's the Japanese Starfire? What's his name?
Sunfire?
Yeah.
Sunfire.
And why is he wearing his old costume?
Yeah, I want to see this in cosplay. He's just wearing a white suit and tie with the mask.
Yeah. Although this is
awesome.
mask. The mask is more exaggerated than it used to be. It used to be tighter and cooler looking. This is kind of comical. But I'm just saying, this whole article is based off please no Brexit jokes. That's it. He doesn't make any actual comments about Brexit. He doesn't make a dialogue or a diatribe even, right? But yet this writer, who obviously thinks Brexit is horrible, decided to take that and make an article to make his statement about how horrible Brexit is. That's what this is. This is a political statement instead of talking about a damn comic book. Ah!
All right. So, moving on, because...
All right, next.
The point.
Go ahead, Denelli.
Okay, the weird science of Lakeith Stanfield. Sorry to bother you, and the Batman villain he's determined to play. So from Deadline Hollywood, basically they're interviewing Mr. Stanfield about his movie that was all about against scats and unionizing things, because he's the one where he was making money because he had a white man's voice and he could make money, but by doing that, he saw he was stepping on his low poverty, low income brother, so he had to get out of that and be the true person he needed to be. But the interesting part of it is the Batman villain he's determined to play. He wants to play the Joker. And he says it's inevitable that there will be a black Joker. And
inevitable. Yeah, inevitable.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the first thing to say on this is I have no clue who you are, dude. Zero clue. He does say that he wears his pink captain hat because he rides the waves of life. And I think he is one of these people that is against urbanization. What's that other word they like to use for urbanization?
Gentrifying?
Yeah, gentrifying, yeah. He's against it. He's against it because he's a big old rich famous guy now, but he's got to think about his little brothers. Well, you don't have much a very high opinion of your little brothers, do you, brother? Okay.
It's absolutely ridiculous to think that it's inevitable that a black man should have to play Joker. That's preposterous. When up until this date that I know of, there's not been one Mongolian woman that hasn't played the Joker.
Yeah, I know.
I think that must be inevitable.
That is a fair point. Yes, and the thing I have to say about this is, good luck to you, buddy, because they're never going to make a black villain. Because if they have a villain and he's black, oh well, no, that's just racist. So good luck, dude. Actually, I'd like to see him succeed. I think it would be funny.
Yeah, break the boundary.
Aren't most villains supposed to be white men?
Yeah, of course, especially these days. Yeah,
this is too easy, and it's too crazy to even go down this road these days.
Yeah, inevitability of gentrification, and I'm not going to get into that side of it, but I always find it funny that they hate gentrification. Isn't that the goal? Isn't that what you want? Don't you want your neighborhood to improve? Whatever. But anyway, I have no clue who this guy is, but good luck to you, brother. Good luck. Go ahead,
Border Town artist team depart, citing public allegation against writer. So, our favorite artists, Ramon Villalobos and Tamara Bonvillain, are leaving after issues 5 and saying, because of these terrible allegations that has arisen to the writer, we can no longer be in this project. So we see the short life and thankfully end of Border Town.
Brief, yeah, it's brief, because this is a true train wreck. I mean, there is some of these SJW books that are actually not badly written. There, I mean, it's not for me, but at least they make a fair attempt. This one not only is poorly written, horrible art. I don't even think I like the coloring too much, and it's absolutely racist against Mexicans. I mean, if I was a Mexican, I'd be upset about it. Now, of course, the artist is a Mexican. But it's very racist against Mexican people. I think it's so stereotypical. But then again, as we know, SJWs do love their stereotypes. But yeah, it's a horrible book, and I guess this Eric Esquivel is a horrible, horrible sex predator. So horrible. No comment anywhere. Okay.
You have to watch your life wherever you go, whatever you do. Is what this means, and especially when you become more of a public figure, and you know that's going to happen. You have to just. Well, I even said public figure. That's regardless of the point. Private. Be nice to everyone all the time, and try to be professional. And if you make mistakes, you come out with it, and you go with that. Especially when you're working on a project like this, and some of the topics that they get into, it becomes even more all creepy. Is that the right word?
Creepy usually works when we're talking about these type of people. Yeah. Well, Todd, do you have an opinion on this amazing comic book falling apart because of sex allegations?
Do I have an opinion? I have an opinion about Tamara Bonvillain, but we don't have enough time.
We don't. Okay, I get it. Point taken. But this book is really horrible. And look here, they don't care, right? You got like Slay 34, and of course I know they use this word slay in not the way we would use it. Denali, can you help me with the colloquial understanding of slay, please?
You got me there.
I know they use this in some way. It's not just to kill. They mean there's a colloquialism to it. Anybody know it? I'm sorry, I'm not an urbanite. I live in the very countryside of Japan. I'm out of touch.
Oh, wait.
Someone
like
in
you
the
make me
chat.
laugh.
Is it make
You
you
make me
laugh?
laugh.
But isn't it like
Yeah,
very
like
a
you slay
feminist
me.
thing?
Oh, I don't know about that.
Someone in the
No.
someone over here help me in the chat, guys. You guys help me out. But
I
yeah.
mean, the only thing I know slay is like you're killing it. You're doing the best that you're leaving everything
Oh, I see.
back in the dust.
Yeah, thank you.
But
Yeah. Thank you. You are awesome, is what it means. Yeah, slay.
Yeah.
She's
Yeah,
a
yeah.
slay queen. Yeah, but I mean, just whatever. It's just dumb on top of dumb. I mean, if you, I would say go read it, but I actually have love for you guys, and I wouldn't want to do that to you. So don't read it. Just praise its death. All right, next.
Yep.
Now this is happy good news. Go ahead, Denelli.
So Dark Horse is going to release a omnibus of their Conan the Barbarian issues, a 700-page trade paperback book, which I'm pretty sure it's going to be a digital version as well. But that's good news for any Conan the Barbarians fans who wants to get the whole collection.
Oh, yeah, the Dark Horse
Yeah.
run of it was killer, dude. Go ahead, DeWolf.
Yes. Oh, Conan.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, now you're talking, especially, back when you had story, you had like this picture here, right? You had cult leaders and sorcery, strong villains wanting to take over and control other people. Women, there was always a good set of women around in the Conan areas, both villains and being captured, and he's saving them, and it's good blood, sweat, and magic all rolled into one. And here's the chance now to get this all together and just sit down and have a great read over fantasy and sorcery and swords.
And a tasteful amount of cheesecake too.
It used to, right? I mean, it had concubines and harems and
you know the thing I
slave
love,
Leia outfit.
Oh, definitely lots of those. You know, one of the thing I really love the way they DC handled it was we are being told the story through some manner of Arabic or Persian prince, and his vizier, not his vizier, his counselor, who is telling him the stories of Conan, because the prince is very interested in this cave they find that has a statue to King Conan and all kind of artifacts, and he's very interested, and he wants his vizier to tell him the story, and they're telling that story, through the eyes of this prince and the vizier. And it's just very clever, I thought. And of course, I'm not going to give a spoiler, but the vizier is actually someone very interesting to Conan himself. Yeah, it was just beautifully handled, beautiful art, great storytelling. This is a happy thing, and I'm going to buy it. Mm-hmm. And let's see over here. Where was it? March Hare says that it's affirmation, Chester. Yes, Slay. I get it. Yeah, I get it now.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, anybody have any, Todd, do you have any comments on Conan, the Dark Horse being thrown together in an omnibus?
Well, it seems like perfect timing because we're about to get Marvel's new book in a couple weeks. So it seems sort of strategic on one side, but it's there was a lot of good stuff. I mean, Carrie Nord. Is that right? Carrie Nord did a bunch of Conan stories with Dark Horse.
Oh yeah, they're wonderful.
There are people who love drawing Conan, and they'll do anything to get on that Conan book. So I think you're going to see some really good artists even jump ship from DC to go to Marvel to draw Conan.
Yeah. Well, hopefully they'll do a good job with it. But I am absolutely terrified what they're going to do with it. We saw what they did with Red Sonja. Yeah. Right? We saw what happened with Red Sonja, right? But who knows? I don't know. I do feel that there is a slight shift going on in Marvel. It's not across the board, but there is a little door that is open for the old style of storytelling. I feel. I'm probably wrong, but I feel that. Here we have Nick W says Conan versus Squirrel Girl confirmed. Maybe that would be awesome. It would be nice to see an axe embedded in that abomination they call Squirrel Girl.
Well, they do have Conan versus Avenger coming soon.
That's right. And that could be interesting. Depends on how they handle it. Dave says that contemplate this on the tree of woe. Yes, what a great! There's so much great little lines in there. Of course, the writer of this is just such a good writer. I've enjoyed his Solomon Kane, Rattle of Bones, etc., etc. Really good stuff. But yeah, this is good news. Good news. March Hare continues and he says, how are the big two indistinguishable from each other anymore? Well, to be fair, I'll let the other guys answer what they think, but I think DC is a little smarter in the business side of it than Marvel is currently, in the fact that even though there's nonsense going on in the main line, they at least had the vision to move the really controversial stuff over to Vertigo. Now I know a lot of people are upset about that when it came out because Vertigo used to have some great books, and I think they will actually still have some good books. But I think that was very smart. Where Marvel is not being smart at all, and they keep doubling, tripling, quadrupling down. I think is the problem. What do you guys think about that question?
Let me see. Well, I think you're right about moving most of the progressive stuff over to Vertical. I don't think Marvel has their own separate line that they could do that, so they were kind of stuck with having it in their main Marvel lines. But we do see that the publisher is making these story choices that is ruining, I guess, in our opinion, ruining the character. And we could cite Bendis, we could cite, what's happening with Batman and all the other characters. So, I mean, it's a give and take pull. I mean, some parts are smarter and some parts they're about the same thing. It's just your flavor of the week, whether it's DC or whether it's Marvel.
That is true.
Yeah. So it's kind of hard. It depends on the people who are in charge. But go ahead, Todd.
I talked with DeWolf about this, and I thought, maybe we need a segment of this show where we point out a good book from these companies, because we do a lot of. We did, right, but that's something I'm just talking, just to add to what you're saying, that maybe every time we come on the news, we point people to, hey, this is a good book. Like, I showed you Black Monday Murders. If I never told you about it, you would have never seen it, right? Well, there's a really good book that I showed DeWolf. It's called Isola, and it's really a beautiful book, and it's definitely not a SJW book, you know what I mean? So there's good books out there, and maybe that's what we need to do is point the way to them, because while we're all waiting for the campaigns to come out and stuff, and we like to say that some of these companies are shoving an agenda down our throat. Well, maybe we need to point out that, look, if you dig deep enough, you'll find a really good book that they're doing.
Oh yeah, no, that's true. We've said this before, and that's not a bad idea. Now I do believe that is the idea that Denali has for the Sunday show, is to talk about good books. I think that's his idea. But throwing in a mention each comic news, that's probably a good idea, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It would just, I guess we would just have to keep looking again and kind of deciding beforehand. But no, it's a good idea. And I think that's one of the reasons why I wanted to do Sundays, an hour-long segment of pointing out these books that we're pulling, we're actually reading, and say, hey, not everything's, it's like bad. Here's some actually good books. Maybe you guys will be interested in reading.
Yeah. What do you think about this question here, DeWolf? What is the distinguishing factor between the two?
I'm sorry. That goes way back a few minutes ago. And
yes, but I'm keeping us on track and away from our tangents. What do you think is the difference between Marvel and DC? Yes.
Oh, right. Goodness. I do like Marvel better. What is that distinguishing factor? I think it has got to be the more rounded aspect and realistic aspect of the world and the characters.
No, 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 no,
I
no.
never was a fan of Gotham.
They're
What?
talking about the SJW nonsense, is what the question is about. What is really the difference between DC and Marvel in regards, what is indistinguishable between them with this modern insistence on progressive politics in the comic book?
I have to back Denali up on something he said one time, and that was the fact that Marvel seems to have them running around doing what they want, while DC is actually more specifically guided
Yep,
with an agenda.
yep, yeah, I agree. Yeah.
I, yeah.
Yeah. No, I think I think the what what's going on. We are seeing some shifts. There are little shifts, and I think in the long run, we're going to see a balance come. Because one thing I've never said that there's no place for a progressive politic book. If there's a niche of people who want to buy that, they should have the right to buy that. I have no problem with that. We just don't want it in every book because, as I've said before, when you're dealing with politics in a comic book or even any story, you the politics should be happening to the character. The character should not be preaching to you about the politic. That is the simple rule of writing, and they are breaking that rule every day. That's the problem, right? And I just want them to get back to a balance, and I think I'm starting to see little cracks that is going to be happening. I hope so.
You see that though in the actual SJW commentary. If you ever can find your way to be around some of them, though, that is the way they speak. They're speaking all the time about their political agenda, sort of broadcasting it out to the world, and maybe it's actual good writing in that particular sense. I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt there, because their characters are basically just doing that. They're just broadcasting it out. So they're not actually, you think as the reader they're targeting you, but it's because they're targeting everyone all the time, even the person's just sitting in the coffee shop, because they don't actually address people like people. They address people like they're things, like they're beneath them, and broadcast it out like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. All right, guys. Well, let me definitely jump over the chat because there's a lot of comments and questions going on, so we need to cover it. Just off the top here, March Hare says, "Never got into Conan. I liked Warlord when I was a kid." Cool. Very different story, but yeah, Warlord was cool too. Um, Joshua Hughes is still working on his trollishness, and he says, "Is this a Conan O'Brien comic?" It looks nothing like him. What do you guys think? I give him a four, maybe a four. Come on, do better, Joshua. Down here, we see that Nick W says, "I'm not sure we can trust Chester after giving Goddess Mode a pass." Lol. Accusations, Nick. Accusations. I'm sorry, guys. It's actually, the art was beautiful. I would never buy it. But yeah, you got to be honest about those things. March Hare says, "Good points, everyone. I guess my point is that with problem prose seems to have a finger in just about everyone's pie. It's a problem. This is a problem overall across the board in the Western world. These progressive, toxic banshees have got themselves into every little facet of life. And that's why you can't have a normal toilet anymore. And that's why we have to educate kindergartners about gay sex, is because of these absolute nonsense human beings be given way too much authority. But I tell you what, it's starting to come crashing down. Look at how Europe burns." He continues by saying, "I'm getting more into manga. A lot of people are. We're seeing a lot of success with manga. Outside the crowdfunded books and some indies, Western comic books definitely have a bad case of ideological cancer." Yes, they do. Whoa, he's got a long statement here. "Oh, yeah, I used to be a huge Marvel fanboy, not so much these days. I apologize for being a downer. I'm just frustrated with it all. I want to be able to share this medium with the little ones coming up." Dude, you're preaching to the choir. We all understand that. And that's why every time we see a kids book, you see us try to get the people on here and we try to promote it because kids need to have comic books. Um, I don't get DC and Marvel not selling to them. You need to have kids with comic books, man. Um, just to finish this up here, Valen, it says, I don't want I don't want age-old characters changed for the sake of political agenda. SJW books they create with their own characters is fine with me. I just don't have to buy it. That's right. They can create anything they want. If they can find a market, rock on, dude.
Yeah.
Muttman says Conan is a womanizer. How are they gonna handle that? Well, he is. I mean, Conan is not a hero. Conan is an opportunist, right? And
Right.
if they write him in any other way, it's not Conan. And Doom thinks that I should be president. Well, we'll let Mr. Trump finish his wonderful run before I do anything like that.
All right. Let's move on to the next article while we still have time left.
Sure. Let me see. Do we want to do this one? This one. Okay. This one. We don't need this one. Jerry Seinfeld, you go, guy. I love this guy. He's always supporting comedians, whether you like a comedian or not. He's very supportive of his co-workers, if you want to say, and he's very against political correctness. So you go, Jerry Seinfeld. This one right here is more involved. Maybe we should do this another day, but a wonderful article we have to cover.
Well, Marvel Rises relaunches as a miniseries, a 5-issue miniseries. So
what
remember,
happened? It must have been doing awesome. This is the most awesome idea ever in all awesomeness. What happened?
Yeah, man. I'm here. American cheerleaders with me, homies.
That was hilarious. We should do. It was a Herman. Anyway,
you got Spider-Gwen in the mix now.
Yay!
That's new.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I mentioned this to Wolf. I mean, to Wolf, how much fatter are they going to make Squirrel Girl? You think? Where's the upper limit?
I think so.
Well, this is exactly what I'm talking about right there. See, that is our Squirrel Girl. This is my favorite. This is my favorite character, I think, behind Quasar.
Oh, really?
Right. Look, I'm trying to. Is that I assume that the screen sharing is working at this point.
It is, yeah.
Okay, so this is Squirrel Girl. This is the real Squirrel Girl who does actual fun, comical things. She's built nice. She's a young lady. She's got, maybe she's a little bit fuzzy. But now that's something that you can actually, get in line with and have fun. And she's a Squirrel Girl. She's not a chipmunk or some roly-poly character.
Yeah, no, she was a fun little character. And to be honest with you, Squirrel Girl, when she came out and when we saw her from time to time, she was more of a plot device, really. But she was this cute, crazy thing that could defeat anything. It was, like I said, she's a plot device. She was this, this kind of character that isn't meant to have its own run. It's meant to solve problems or to interject comedy. And she was very cute. And now they decided to make a run with her, and they have not only made her very, very thick, as the young people like to say, which I think thick is supposed to have a nice meaning, and this is not a nice thick. But it depends on who you are, I guess. But they've also made her retarded, which I think is offensive. Don't you?
Yeah.
Is that for real?
That's for real.
I haven't.
Yeah.
Oh my god, really? Why she wasn't originally retarded?
No.
Or I don't even want to use that word, but she wasn't originally special needs.
Todd, I'm not the one that made her retarded. Marvel made her retarded. It's not my fault.
Did she have an accident?
I don't know. But she loves the science, even though she is retarded. And half the time when they draw her, she looks like she has Down syndrome. Once again, I'm offended. Why are you picking on Down syndrome people? They didn't do nothing. I mean, right?
So weird.
It's weird,
Notice.
dude, because they talk to us all the time about being offensive and racist or whatever other ism they choose for the day, but this is offensive. You have literally
I
made her a retarded person, and you make her look like a Down syndrome. First of all, retarded people can't help they're retarded. Down syndrome people can't help they're retarded. Let's not pick on people who can't help what they are, right? If you are stupid, because stupid means you know better, but you do the wrong thing, right? If you're stupid, you deserve derision. But we don't pick on people who can't help what they are, right? That's standard rule, right? That's kind of
yeah.
play the standard playing field rules, right? But here's Marvel picking on Down syndrome
I
people, picking on retarded people.
I think even though she was Squirrel Girl, there's this possibility that she's an older Marvel character. She was cute, she was endearing, and so they have to change it. Much like Spidey, Iron Man, Captain America, all of them. They have to change them. The new characters like uh, Ms. Marvel and America Chavez, right? They're drawn to where they're more attractive. Right? The attractive version of Squirrel Girl we have to get rid of because someone may have actually liked her in the old Marvel 616, but in the Marvel 666, we're now going to make her awfully chubby, and tear her down like we tear down all the rest of the old history of Marvel.
And they made her a
So it's
lesbian
okay.
as well for no reason. Who cares what
God,
Squirrel
no.
Girl's sexuality is? But no, now she's a lesbian. Why? 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 Isn't this supposed
Now
to be a
she should
kid's
like
book?
nuts.
Huh?
She should like nuts, right?
Well, yes, she
I'm
should,
sorry, Todd.
DeWolf. Go ahead, Todd.
does like is if you're ugly, we can give you as big a breast as we want? Is that the thing?
I think that's the rule,
I,
yeah.
I think they're trying to
Yeah.
make her into a Faith, the Faith character.
Well, they keep ballooning her up.
Okay.
But it's disgusting. Squirrel Girl, of course, is the epicenter of what's going on at Marvel. Because
Is it me or American Chavez checking out Squirrel Girl?
she probably is. Well, hey, they're both lesbians.
Yeah.
Hey, go for it. They're probably all
Yeah.
lesbians now, for all I know. But once again, it's supposed to be a kid's book. Why are you talking about sexuality anyway? Right?
Right.
And Joshua says, wait, is America Chavez black now? Dude, I don't think they know what American Chavez is. They have lost the plot. Have you not seen that?
Right.
Yeah.
Nick W says, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I agree with Marvel's anti-furry agenda. Lol.
Jeez. But this is a TV show that came out. If you're unaware, we have been joking about it because it looks it's like such a travesty, and obviously everyone agreed because they're coming out with a mini series, which infers that the original series is no more, right? You can't have a mini series if you have a series.
Right.
So yeah,
Right.
because I didn't hear an announcement about the Marvel Rising being canceled, but obviously it has.
I'm like,
they'll never announce they cancel a title,
Mm-hmm.
especially with these diverse set of unique characters.
Yeah. Now I think actually, oh no, I think I've made a mistake. I shall apologize and correct myself. This is not talking about a TV show. This is talking about a comic book. I apologize. So as far as I know, the Marvel Rising TV show is still going on, and it is simply a new 5-part miniseries comic book for it. Okay, I am wrong on that. I apologize. But I take back nothing I said.
that look from Captain Marvel, the coy look, the little smile. Have I mentioned before how much I like it when Captain Marvel smiles?
Oh yes, well, you just don't understand Brie Larson. That's your problem. Okay. Anyway, let me
The Brie
read a couple of
Whisperer.
these chats real quick, and then we'll let Denali take us out of the show here. Muttman
Sure.
says, Marvel, as we know, it is over. I am content to buy back issues, Marvel comics for my kids, several decades of great content to share with them. It's true. March Hare says, the panel, have any of you seen William the Last by Brian Shear? Yes, I did check it out. Is it good? Is it a good one for the kids and adults? Can at least appreciate the art? I don't know enough about it to make a comment. Anybody here want to make a comment about William the Last by Brian Shear? We've seen him on the Pro Edition of Drawn and Quartered, by the way.
No,
Looks like
we're
elegant.
Yeah, no,
you don't have it.
We'll look into it, March Hare. Nick says Squirrel Girl is starting to look like Faith. Yeah, Denali said same thing. Derek, yeah, why is Squirrel Girl getting fatter? Is Marvel attempting to make? Okay, yeah, same comment. Okay, and you covered that one with Nick W. All right, guys. Well,
Yep.
a very interesting conversation today. We covered a lot of news, which is always great, and we had a few fun rants as well. Don't forget that an hour from now, we are doing a Drawn and Quartered fan edition right here. Come on back for that. That's going to be a lot of fun. Booster and I are going to host the show as usual, and we are going to have a lot of fun with a princess, but not the princess from yesterday. Also, we have, of course, coming up on Saturday, we're going to be watching Akira with Bunny Vision, and we have Fan Speak tomorrow. So we got a lot of things going on. Definitely keep coming back and checking out what we're doing. We appreciate everything you're doing. Also, as I've said before, you are all welcome to come on and be on the show and give us your opinion and share and chat with us and have a good laugh. And Doom says Spicy Chester is the best Chester. Well, I do try to please, I guess. And but other than that, of course, Todd, you have a couple of projects coming out. Would you like to announce them before we let Denali take the show out? Todd?
I'm sorry, because you sort of went robot on us. What?
Do you have anything? You have some projects coming out. Would you like to announce anything?
Oh yeah, sure. I'm one of the like 6 art. No, well, there's like 4 artists for sure that are part of Tales from Beyond the Gate, but we've got some pro writers. We have other pro artists who are going to be doing 1 page. But between me and John and Manny, we're going to be doing about 60 pages out of this book. So this is going to be a project that is we're hoping to get to like about 100 pages or near close to that. So we'll find a way to get a lot of bang for your buck when this eventually comes out. And I can't wait to actually get going on this. Get rid of. I'm still coloring this children's book, so I can't wait to get finished and start drawing a couple pages out of both the story that me and Chester are working on. That's right. I got Chester involved with one of my stories, and I decided to. I had a bunch of pages that I had done in the past that they never saw print, but I'm going to redo all the pages and make Chester's story really shine. And then I also love doing a story with Mike Barron. So I'm going to be using 2 different styles in this book. One will be quite surprising, a look you've never seen from me, and then one will be closer to the look that you have seen from me. So be on the lookout for Tales from Beyond the Gate.
Yeah, no, Tales from Beyond Gate is going to be awesome. We have a lot of pros that are donating work to help support these up and coming or unknown artists. There's going to be an amazing project that's going to be coming out around February or so. I don't know if the final decision has been made on that, but it's going to be coming out around that time, and we'll announce when we do the final announcing. Yeah, there's a lot of talent involved in that, especially not only the great talent that is creating the book, but all the amazing talent, even legendary talent, that is donating stuff to support the project. It is going to be absolutely phenomenal. And yes, I am writing a story for you, Todd. I'm actually writing a total of 5 of the stories in the book. So I have been very, very, very busy. But it is absolutely fun and exciting, and there's just some cool stuff. And yes, I'm looking forward to seeing that Mike Barron story come to life. And there are several other really cool things too. But we can't announce all that yet, but we will when we get to that, and it's really cool. But other than that, you can find DeWolf and Denali here with me on Fanspeak, and all our contacts and various things you can find through there. So please communicate with us. But other than that, Denali, take us out, man.
Well, thank you for everybody joining us. And as always, your perception shapes your reality. So always make it a good one.
Namaste. Later, guys.
Have a good night.
Aloha.